You're welcome to Queen's Fashion World today with me. I want to especially thank my subscribers. Thank you so very much. God bless you for your support. I really appreciate. And if today is your first time of tuning this channel, you are welcome. So today I'll be teaching how to cut and sew a balloon sleeve that we also call a bishop sleeve. So we have different type of bishop sleeve, different type. So this one is always a more of short one, like on your elbow or below the elbow, but some people can still do it a full long sleeve, but more of short one on this one. So the fabric that I will be using for this sleeve now, let me check. The length is 23 inches. 23 inches is Ankara fabric. So when to cut your sleeve, these are the measurements that I will be using. The length sleeve is 12 inches. The round sleeve is 14.5 inches. So now, whenever you're to cut, check your fabric. The good side, you're to fold it inside. Then let the wrong side be the outside where you mark chalk. So if I'm to cut this sleeve one like this, I will fold it one and cut it, and now place it to cut the second one. But if you're to cut it the two at once, you fold it into four. I see now, I fold it into two like this, and I can now fold it into four to cut the two at once. So see what I have here. Now how to know the round sleeve, because you first of all check the round sleeve first. Place your tape, fold it like this to get the round. So just fold it like this. The round sleeve is 14.5 divided by 2, that will be 7 1/4. So this place now is okay for round sleeve with sewing allowance.
But if you're to add gather to the upper part, you can increase the round sleeve than this 7 inches.
I will now place my tape from this point now that I mark the round sleeve. I'll place my tape to get the cap height of the sleeve. So for this person, I will use a 4 inches as the cap height. You know, you're to divide your bust measurement into 12 and add half inches to it. Whatever you have, you use it as a cap height. So from this point now that I found my cap height, I'll bring my tape to the upper part. See the upper distance that I fold, then check. This is 6 inches. I'll go ahead and mark the 6 inches all round like this. Are you seeing now? The 6 inches all round, and connect the chalk together like this. So from this point now, this is the starting point of the sleeve. I can now mark the sleeve hole like this. After this place now, I will now check from this round that I marked will help me to get the length sleeve. So I'll place my tape here to get the length sleeve. This person's length sleeve is 12 inches. This is 12 inches. But I will use the whole of this fabric. If the fabric is more than this, I would have add more to it. So I will mark 12 inches here and add 4 inches to it. So automatically I will be using 16 inches for this sleeve length. This extra 4 inches, you know, there will be a gather at the down part like this, where I will gather and also turn it with lining to lap inside. This flare one is always turned with lining to lap inside. So these 4 inches will help me do the work.
But if you have more fabric, you can increase the length than this. You can make it 18 or even more to make the balloon full.
I'll use what I have here, 16 inches. It's still okay. So I'll go ahead and mark it all round, 16. And mark it round like this. Then I will cut it out. My sleeve like so. So see my lining now. I want to cut lining for the balloon sleeve because I will use lining to turn it. So I fold my lining like this. I will cut the down equal. Then this upper part I can, okay, let me cut it equal first. I can reduce it with 2 inches, or I will leave it. After turning it down, I can now trim whatever I have left off. So let me leave it, and I will cut the second lining like this. So now I will pick my fabric like this. I'll just run a gather at the down part. I see now. I'll run a gather. Set your machine on a gather stitch and just run a gather like this. So when you're running a gather, don't stitch it. Don't stitch your stitching. See the thread, you just cut remain by this side and remain this side, so that you can hold it to drag the gather. So I will run the thread 2 lines so that it will be firm to drag gather. So this is the second line. You see the space, not up to 1/2 inch. So after running the gather, you can now pick your thread, pick it out like this, because the thread is double now, both the inner thread and the upper thread. So I'm picking the upper one out. So when dragging the gather, use the down thread. Leave this upper one. Use the down thread to drag gather. It's always better to use the down thread to drag gather. So you keep dragging till the ending part. Arrange the gather to the size of the round sleeve. The sleeve, you know, we'll have the upper part, then we'll have the tight. So you have to use the tight size to measure this down part. Dragging the gather at the down part. See what I have now. While dragging it, you have to use the round sleeve. That is the tight at the down part. Our tight here is 12 inches. So you add sewing allowance to it. I have like 1.5 sewing allowance. It's okay. You can use 1 inch. So now I will do the same thing to the lining. So I will also run the gather on the lining like this. So I will run the gather also on the lining like this. Make sure you run the 2 lines of the gather. Pick the down thread like this. The down thread always move well on gather, how to draw gather. So I will pick the 2 down thread. That is the inner thread, and drag it the same way we drag the other side to get the 15 inches. That is 1.5 sewing allowance. So I finished dragging the gathers now. Now I will pick this lining like this. I'll pick the lining like this and place it. This is the good side. The lining also the good side. Place it like this. They are equal. When you check the allowance, they are equal like this. Make sure it's equal and sew it.
After the gather now, make sure you bring back your hand stitch from gather to normal stitch before sewing this place.
You can now cut the gather thread out. Now that I've secured it with normal stitch, I can cut it. So when you turn it, this is what you get. So the same thing that I did here, the same thing this one. I'll go to the table and iron it first. Ironing it now. Now that I've finished ironing it, I can now bring it like this. Depends how many inches you want it to lap. You know that this my own is very small. The fabric is just, that is the remaining fabric. I'm just using it for the sleeve. So you go ahead and use pin to secure this part now. So you need to lap it so the lining will not show the other side. So I'm using like a 1.5 inches here to lap it, because water, okay, 1 inch, 1 inch. I finished securing it with pin. That is a 1 inch, to make sure it will lap at the upper part. So now what I will do, I will just hold it like this. You see the way it is. Make sure I lap the lining. I will also pin it all through. And when you're pinning it, check the down. Make sure it's balanced like this. So just secure it with pin all through. Check this side also. Make sure you lap it like this. And pin it. Now that I've finished pinning it, I can now trim out this excess here. Trim out the allowance here. If there will be a pleat, a guard on it, this part would have been bigger. So see what I have. See what I have. I will apply the same thing to this side also.
I've finished cutting it out, so you can go ahead and iron the down part to make it relax.
Mark the center of this sleeve before I remove this pin. I'll mark the center of the sleeve like this, and also mark this one. Then I can now remove the pin. I will place it like this, front to front, center to center, and I can now remove the armhole shape that we always remove from sleeve in front, 1/2 inches. This is the center. Make sure you catch the lining together. I can use a tape to just mark 1/2 inch like this. Stop before the center point. So I'll just cut it like this and bring my hand out. So if you hold it together like this, whenever you're cutting it, you know that it will rhyme. So before I close the sleeve, see what I will do now. I'll pick this sleeve like this. Make sure you check the front. So I will pick the sleeve like this and find the measure to the armhole, like so, like this, and mark chalk for where the round sleeve will be. So when doing it, check the sleeve, the side that will rhyme with this, the front first. So I will now close it like this with the allowance. So now when I go close to this down part, I will check the round sleeve. The round sleeve is 12.5. In fact, let me use 13 inches for her. So I'm using 13 inches round sleeve. So after the round sleeve, you come out again and take the same size. Measure it with this upper part and mark the same size here. So I can trim small allowance from this down part, just small, like this. Then I will now turn it. So when turning it, this is what I will have. You see the balloon is forming. I can now run thread to catch both lining and the distance all through like this. Catch it with thread all around like this now. If the lining is bigger than the fabric, no problem, you can just pleat small from it. That is from the lining. If you have excess lining, it's even better that way, so that the sleeve will balance. So now that I've finished securing the upper part like this, you know the center is already notched. Now when fixing the sleeve, the first sleeve to fix, please make sure you check. You know, we trim a 1/2 inch away from the front side, so check before fixing it if this one will rhyme with this one. Once this one rhyme, then the other one automatically will rhyme. So check. So this one is this one. Now I can open it like this. To fix, you open your sleeve like this. Make sure the joining face the side joining, like so. Just place it. See this thing. Okay, so you just sew it like this, the normal way that we fix sleeve. Now with 1/2 inch, before fixing, you check the shoulder of your dress. If it's not equal with the measurement, you can trim it. So always check while fixing if the round sleeve, they are rhyming together. Catch both the lining, the front and the sleeve together, running it all together. Now this is how you fix a perfect sleeve, you see. So it's only this part now I will go and weave, but in front there is nowhere that is folding. You can manage if the lining rumple inside. You see the front. So I will go ahead and apply the same thing to this other side. See the balloon sleeve now. See how beautiful it is. This one is the size of the fabric that I have left, but if you want your own to be fuller, you can increase the length. You know, I use the leg sleeve was 12 inches, I use 16 inches, extra 4 inches. So if you want your own to be fuller, you can increase it to like 8 inches, 6 inches, just increase it. Whatever you want, you can always manipulate it. So see how beautiful my own is. This one is okay for the person, to the size of the fabric. Thank you so very much for watching. See you in my next video. Please, I want to see your comments. Thank you. God bless you.